If we have a plane wave propagation in free space and a lossless dielectric. So a plane wave propagation we are going to cover in this lecture, and that will be in your course only. But the topic includes in this book both of them. So if you have a plane wave propagation in free space, so this is your free space. This is the, can say, shape of your Earth, and there is a transmitting antenna on this side, and then there's a receiving antenna on this side. So if we have a direct communication between them, then this is the line of sight of communication. One of them is that a wave transmits through air, and then it incident on the surface of the Earth, and then it reflect from it. And then there's a part of it which goes along the, can say, the along the Earth aperture. Then there might be another way of doing the transmission, that the transmission goes up in the sky and goes into the ionosphere medium, and there it reflect from there due to the difference in the medium. So there's a medium of up to the ionosphere, and there will be a different mu and e epsilon there, and due to that there will be a reflection from that after traveling a bit of it inside the ionosphere, and then the wave come back to the receiving antenna. So we can say the electromagnetic wave being propagated in free space near the surface of the Earth is divided into two parts, the ground wave and the sky wave, or you can say the ionosphere wave. The ground wave is further divided into a direct wave and an Earth reflected wave. So this one direct wave, and then there's Earth reflected wave. So the figure shows the components as I explained. So the ionosphere is that region of the Earth atmosphere in which the constituent gases are ionized by solar radiations. This region extends from about 50 kilometers above the Earth to several Earth radii and has different layers designated as C, D, E, and F layers in the order of height as we go. The electron density distribution of each layer varies with the time of day, season, year, and the geographical location. During the day, the electron density is approximately 10 is to the power 12 electrons per cubic meter at an altitude between 990 and 1000 kilometers. The E and F layers have a permanent existence, but the D layer is present only during the day. The electron density determines the reflection and refraction of microwaves. For a vertical incidence, the critical frequency is given equals to 9 times of root of n max, where n is the number of electrons. That is your frequency. Now, this means that a microwave of frequency FCR will be reflected back to the Earth if the electron density is equal to or higher than the required maximum electron density n max. The sky wave reaches the receiving station after reflection from the ionosphere. Although important in many communication systems, the sky wave need not to be considered in most microwave applications because a wavelength shorter than about 4 meters will not return to the Earth from the ionosphere. So these are not the important factors which we need to remember about it, but please go through this. And the power density, if we say with respect to the power, is given by PT GT divided by 4 pi r square, where PT is the transmitted power in watts and GT is the transmitting antenna gain numerically, and R is the distance between antenna and the field points in meters. If we want to calculate if you have this transmitting antenna, the gain with associated with it is GT, the receiving antenna with the receiver power as PR. Then we can say that PD is equals to the power density is given by PT GT divided by 4 pi r square. The power received by the receiving antenna then is given by PD into AE. So it depends upon the effective aperture area in square meter. So this is basically how your antennas work. So you have a transmitter with power PT. You have a transmitter which has a gain GT, The antenna has a gain GT. In a similar way, receiver has a gain GR, and PR is the power, received power. Now, so PR is equals to PD into E. So PT GT divided by 4 pi R square into lambda 2 divided by 4 pi GR is the received power by the receiving antenna, where AE is equals to the effective aperture, and it is equals to lambda square divided by 4 pi GR, and it is effective antenna aperture in square meters. Lambda square upon 4 pi is equals to AA is the isotropic antenna aperture in square meters, and GR is your antenna gain of the receiver. So these two factors decide the total power received by the antenna. Now, if you want to express it in terms of decibel, then we can say that PR is equals to PT, the transmitted power, plus GT plus GR minus 20 log 4 pi R divided by lambda in dB. So these are the terms PT, GT. So when you will take the log of it, then it will be 4 pi square, R square is there, and this is lambda square. Please remember, this is not lambda 2, this is lambda square. Okay, and so when you will take the log, so this is the received power in decimal at the antenna. This is the only thing which you need to remember with respect to the antenna we are using. Thank you.